Okay, I think we're back. So, Kakazi, I legally have to oblige that as being the first stream of the day. Hang on.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
I'm going back to the round table. And
Bring down the
legend!
therapy sword upon thine enemies.
Right? But Kakazi, this is the first stream of the day, so that's gotta count as first. God, I can't believe I did that. It's the kind of mindset where people end up accidentally pushing things to prod, you know what I mean? Ah, the fool that I am! Make shishy. No, Phyllis. To be continued, friend. To be continued. And hey, I don't take firsts away from the board. It just means that Kakazi is now in second. So it's currently Fairness, Chornerus, and then Kakazi. Also, I'm just quickly stuffing my face. But hey, we're going for some therapy sword, right? We've got to decide if we're going to continue the battle of the ultimate dragon fight, or if we're just going to continue onwards. Kakazi, I don't even know. I don't even know. But yeah, no, like, I just have to remind myself that no one is above making mistakes. You know, a dyslexic fighting off an infection is probably not the brightest tool in the shop box shed. Or whatever it was that Smash Mouth sang about. Ooh! Wait, Rainworld's 50% off? Ooh. Fuck, so it is. Yo, actually, no, that might be... Is that for me?
I'm immune to making mistakes.
You're hanging out here on a Wednesday, so you're clearly not immune to mistakes. But thank you. Fiona made enchiladas last night, and they are super soft, so I can eat them. So I'm having enchiladas in a tortilla to bulk out the food. No, but seriously, friends, thank you all for waiting with this faffamancy. I'm so sorry. If you're wondering why in the hell I'm kind of kicking myself right now. So, in video games, we have this thing called an embargo, right? And what it is it's kind of like a level playing field agreement. In the idea of like, oh hey, I'm going to give everybody a copy of this game, and you can all make YouTube videos about it, or get ready to stream it, or write your reviews. But they all got to go out at the same time, so that everybody is equal, right? It's kind of almost a counter to like the old school, like, oh, IGN gets it super secret. The rest of you have to fucking wait till it comes out. And due to dyslexia and poor health, my dumbass was like, oh, it's today, right? It's coming out today. No, the game comes out tomorrow. And the embargo was for tomorrow morning. I'm still glad we played it. God, so funny. I just feel bad about causing problems now. And sorry, where are my fucking manners? Burdenfly, thank you for the $5. You're right, Jamami, it is a very strange topic to bring up completely unprompted. Apropos of nothing. Having my sandwich over here. Such a strange thing. But no, like, it always used to be really frustrating when that would happen on Total War sites. Weirdly, the Turkish websites always used to basically give no hex. Don't know why. I also don't know why they got preview copies, because they always broke embargo. There we go. Worst case, I guess I'm just going to have to start buying my own copies from whoever that was. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I've accidentally caused a huge spike in sales, and it'll be glorious. Maybe I can play the hero. Although, what I was going to say real quickly was, Nick, if you're picking up Rain World, it looks like Downpour is also on sale. Just get it now. Because one, they're cool friends, and obviously I want to help them. But two, like, if you do end up liking Rain World, then you're going to want to get on it. Like, Rain World's one of those games, like, you either play it for a bit and go, nah, not my jam, which is fine, which is totally fine, or it consumes you, as it did me. Especially once you get into, like, the interconnected systems of it. Like, holy fuck. It's one of those games, the more you find out about it, the more... Like, the guy who programmed it... Another one of those, like, next-level individuals. And in fairness, like, he had a long time to just dedicate to one project. Because he prototyped it, he kickstarted it, well, they kickstarted it, and then they got picked up by Adult Swim. Back when Adult Swim games were really good. Now, I still have a little bit of beef with how they marketed it. I think they could have done them better. But yeah. Exactly. I have no idea. Although, what's really cool, I should say, Nick, to make you feel... Exactly, Dustin, so nothing. So, Nick, one thing that'll make your day on it is that what they did was they released...
What ho again?
For the first time, Lyris, what ho and welcome! Sure has been a whole day of Elden Ring and nothing else! Boop. Excuse me. Fucking yo. Sorry. I do feel bad. I don't think I said a proper thank you to Ehrman. Ehrman, I don't know if you're still hanging out. Thank you.
Funny number IT finally happened.
Numbers? Nice. Nice. So, I don't know if the Brits are still hanging out now that we've gone from twee to fucking therapy sword. But the thing I went to go pick up before I realised things were going on, look what Drunk Will got alongside the Book of Bill. Salt and vinegar hula hoops. Oh, lovely! Dice Goddess says, as they put stuff on ArtStation, today is Scam Email Day. Oh, I love that. Yeah, because I don't put art out. But just, it's mostly people trying to steal my details, pretending to be, like, either job offers or debting companies. Okay. So I think I need a little warm-up, because it has been a week, before we take on Bigger Dragon. But that was currently what we were doing battle with when the dragon was so strong it balked the PC last time. Like, there's something about how FromSoft make their games that They can absolutely destroy this rig if there's too many effects going on.
Reactor online. Sensors
Hey!
online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Sorry, my manners are all over the place. So, AR, thank you for the 49 months. It's nearly 50. And Numbers, thank you for the full compliment. Like, I know we make the jokes about it's... But it does warrant saying 69 months is as long as you could have been throwing subs at my stupid face. And you've been supporting well before then, so thank you. Like, seriously, all of you, thank you all. Tell you though, this stream is absolutely gonna fuck any chances of the purple tick anytime soon, let me tell you. But that's not what this is about. This is about us hanging out and having a natter. So jumping back, Nick. So the thing I wanted to say is like, so Rainworld did good at launch, but not what Adult Swim was expecting. It did well enough that the team got to work on some updates where they added the new slug cats and some extra stuff. And then Adult Swim kind of stopped supporting it. Everyone was kind of sort of done with it. But the community kept picking up numbers and picking up numbers. It was one of those like sleeper hit games. And at some point, I don't know when, I haven't spoken to the team behind it, they managed to get Rainworld away from Adult Swim and over to Acapurna. Not Annapurna, but Acapura. And then they picked up a bunch of the individuals from the community who were making good custom shit and put together a special team to do a continuation of the story. So Joao, the main programmer, could add some extra features, but basically leave the new content to a whole new team. So Joao's working on a like 90s anime hoverbike style game that looks incredible. And I believe this is what they're going to be doing for the next Rainworld DLC. And honestly, I'm happy for them to keep adding to Rainworld. Let it become this gigantic thing. Like, what would you do with a Rainworld 2? A new area, new environment? You can do that in a game. Yeah. But Lyrus, I mean, I'll say the same thing I say to everybody, is that, like, if you bounce off of Rainworld, that's fine. Oh shit, I've got a lot of souls. Should probably fucking spend those. Rainworld 2, this time you're the iterator. Nick, I'd agree with you, except for it did not work for Goat Sim. Oh no, it's more AR, like, creatively. Rainworld is perfect. It isn't everybody's cup of tea, right? It's a great example of a game that does everything it sets out to do incredibly well, but it is not the right game for everyone, if that makes a weird sense. Also, let's level out Arcane with some nice round numbers. And yeah, numbers, I think that would... You know what? If that was the case, but I think we could do that inside of Rainworld 1, if that makes a weird sense. You know, the kind of people that like Rainworld have it. The attach rate on that game is ridiculous. Okay. Rainworld 2, now you're the murder vulture. It would be nice to level the playing field, I won't lie. I won't lie. So, okay. So, we were down in the deep root depths. Was it deep root depths? Yes. And the last session of this turned into a lovely cavalcade of multiplayer silliness. Again, shout out to everybody that joined me for that one. Right now, I'm currently doing battle with a gigantic super dragon who kind of sort of broke the build. So I'm going to throw myself against them in a second. But so far as I understand it, we're not ready to head up the mountain just yet. Like, once we go up for Big Soup, that starts a lot of things. And you were saying that the next region to head to... That's Melina and Adventure, right? Oh, DJ Coil. Do tell, because I believe if I have Stinky Breath, I think I've got both flavors of Stinky Breath, which means I beat that particular dragon. But I will admit, I also don't know if any of our Rain World guides, our Elden Ring guides are in tonight, so I might just have to own this shit myself. Alright, well, Dustin, good thing you're moving to Seattle. You can just start a fire when you leave. I got up this morning, got to make myself a cup of coffee, and there was a dead spider floating in the sink where I'm trying to resurrect one of Fiona's coffee mugs. Yeah, Fiona, there's a lot of black mold in that coffee cup, I'm not going to lie.
It's not black mold, it's old mildew, Will.
Old mildew. It's not black mold. Okay.
I know, I've got it prepping. I forgot about it.
Huh. DJ Coil, I didn't know that. I haven't got into like the whole history of the Scarlet Rot yet, which I have I've seen the thumbnails of the lore and things like that, so I know it's going to be fascinating. But anyway, yeah. Just in the sink, I found a single dead spider. Which somehow felt more threatening than I was expecting. Okay. Is there anything else you'll want to natter about, like games or games industry-wise, before we get set in? It's like, Nick, if you do end up really enjoying Brain World, I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on it. I'm obviously obsessed with it. And if I can, as it doesn't look like Holiday is necessarily viable, I think I'm getting my next Rain World tattoo soon. So AO says, how do you feel about difficulty setting locked content? That's something that really should be regarded on a title-by-title basis.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
I never make mistakes. Crap, did I say that before?
Possibly. Also, Verdun... sorry, I don't mean this to sound like I'm either fishing or critiquing, but... like... Mr. Blobby plushie to my head, I would have said that you've been here for a lot longer than 17 months. Honestly, Air Dragon, playing as one of the iterators could be fascinating, but I also think the Slug Cats are kind of like the perfect vehicle for their story, because they're just the right amount of cute, but you're never quite sure if they're just mischievous or what have you.
Online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
And Keldra Watto, and welcome.
Almost 2 years.
Almost. 1 more month. And then several more until 69. Nice, 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 nice. Margin Walker, many, but also not as many. It'll come sooner than we think. Hopefully, touch wood, touch wood. Assuming if I can survive till 420, blaze it. Wait, no, I think that's actually impossibly high, isn't it? Fuck. Never mind. Ignore me. Ignore me! Fuck, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, okay. So the discussion about difficulty locking content. Again, it depends on the series. And it's important to remember like the separation between difficulty and accessibility, right? Okay, so I just have to stream for 30 more years. I could do that. I could be quite happily into my 80s and still streaming. Whose baby is this? Ignore me! So with this, a lot of... Because I haven't hit them yet, but a lot of people did say that with Elden Ring, the gatekeepy boss that you must defeat to get into the new content is no joke. And on the one hand, that kind of rubs me the wrong way. But on the other, this is a game about big boss fights. This is a game that gives you a lot of tools to work around this. I was joking with my friend Sandy about how if you play this game with just summons and good times, it's a completely different experience. Oh yeah, no. So AR, I'm absolutely against locking users into a difficulty setting at the beginning of the game. Like, because you're asking users...
I see, almost everything. You can't ignore this, these bits and donuts.
Bacon, thank you for the 200. You all have actually chipped away at Ehrman pretty strong, considering that was a double red bit from Ehrman today. And again, fucking thank you for that. Alright, and Jamami, get some sleep. To be continued. Also, I forget what the legalities are on proxies in Magic the Gathering, but one, I didn't know they did a set of like Cowboy Bebop style cards, and two, that someone has actually made a faux proxy of Mind Goblin, which I might get just for the long setup. Okay. I figured as much, but I didn't know if they were TOS breaking and like pirated games are bad according to Twitch terms and conditions. I don't know if proxies are the same. Twee British snacks. Salt vinegar hula hoops, let's go! Air Dragon says the Cowboy Bebop are tournament prizes for Magic the Gathering. Not a fan. Well, I found at least one proxy site that says otherwise, friend. With the option to foil them. Foiling plans? Foiling plans. But yeah, so AR... I don't like lock difficulty. And I prefer thinking of games in terms of accessibility rather than difficulty as the thing to tweak. And so yeah, so okay, so AR, I guess what I'm saying, I agree with you. I do feel that with a few of the older games where you would have to choose between easy, medium, and hard without knowing what that was, and in that case, some of the things would be locked behind. And Legend, again, that one varies. I've seen games that use the whole New Game Plus for true endings really good. But I have also encountered games where I played the whole fucking thing and it was like, okay, now beat it on normal, or now beat it on hard. So AO says, the reason I brought this up is it's something controversial in the Verizon scene. Okay, so AR, give me the context. Give my dyslexic ass some context. I'm trying to think where we can putz about while we're having a natter and a warm-up. So I'm pretty sure I got everything here. That's just a pile of rubble. We did the... Oh, here we go. There's a fucking side tomb. There we go. I haven't done this one. Numbers were saying that Chrono Trigger's multiple endings are really unmatched, except for Nier Automata. Yeah, I mean, there are a few other games that take that philosophy that you use the New Game Plus as part of the experience, and I'm always down with that. You know. But the thing was, like, Nier Automata is a great example of the language you use to discuss with the player can sometimes do these... Hey, look, it's little jar guy. Where'd you go, little buddy? Oh, no. I'm gonna feel guilty again. Meat pies for everyone! But yeah, while there is a story to Elden Ring, predominantly its content is about... Ooh, okay, you're an explodey little lad. Predominantly its content is about moving through combat sequences to larger enemies, right? Like, if you boil these games down to just their core components, you rush forward, you do a moida, you continue. Right? Okay, so AR says that the version 1 launched the game. Which game was this? Added brutal mode. The mode does have normal enemies, it's harder, loot better, etc. But
do not feel guilty for ending the lives of these pots. They're essentially hollow, and you are ending their suffering.
Oh, okay. Oh, V Rising. Okay, sorry, my dyslexic ass was not ready. And Legend, thank you for letting me know. Now I'm doing good. Let's smash the meat pies and pots. They're easier to kill than gargoyles. Okay, look. I know you're about to fucking jump me. Just... do it. Do it! Okay. Not getting ambushed there actually felt like a... No! Now where the fuck am I? Oh no, don't give me that twice. Fucking dick. Well, unless that's the way in which you move around here, that could work. Okay. It's just, I was so ready for an ambush, and there was one. But no, so jumping back. So AR was saying they also added something to every boss fight, be it a new move or entire new phases and health bars. Okay, so the idea that you're not getting to experience the boss fully unless you... Oh, you fucking wankers! I'm so shitty. So unless you play the game proper, you don't get to see all the boss movesets. Ow! Fucking God, I hate these little shits. You don't get to see the full extent. And so let me guess, so AR, if you start the game on normal, you can't then crank it up to brutal, right? Or do you have to New Game Plus it? Or is it only if you start from the beginning? Because... Okay, firstly, fuck you. Sorry, I had to go murder somebody. Ow! Oh shit! This is why I'm not fighting Big Dragon yet. There's you little cockwombles. Fall into easy things. Okay, so AR, what I'm hearing is it sounds like they have a real good concept, but have absolutely not implemented it well. Fucking bastard! You're a bastard, Snow! I feel like we're just hurling insults at each other now. So I guess like the discussion in this is like, what constitutes the core experience? Fuck you, buddy. Kill you later. Because that's what we need to discuss it, right? Like, what is the core experience of V Rising? No, it's not going to be, but... Oh, it was! Aha! Is it? Fucking knew it! Thanks, random people. Finger but hole. I still love the comm system in this game. Alright, gas take me. Okay, so for what little my opinion is worth on the V Rising side of things, personally I would say that the goal of that game is to build a fucking cool vampire castle, right? So you essentially want as much content in there as possible stacking, you know. Essentially Terraria is, I guess, the closest equivalent, right? The action RPG mechanics are your combat main staple, but ultimately it's about becoming a vampire lord, having your own castle, ruling your fief or what have you. Also, like, I guess what I'm saying is, AR, what separates it from Path of Exile? What separates it from Diablo and other, you know, other in the same sphere? I would argue it's the, you know, it's the construction element, it's the roleplay element. It's the, why am I here? This is doing some time fuckery, isn't it? There we go. Or time and space fuckery. Because we were down there. Murdered those guys. Wait, was that where we came from? Oh dang, the gargoyle police are onto me. Just space fuckery, alright. Because in theory... Nope. Beans. Might have fucked up. Yeah, I biffed my space-time continuum. Anyway. I think that's the things to think about. Because, like, they are obviously... Community's gonna community, right? Sometimes how a concept is presented and how it's rolled out to users is ultimately how they... Absolute cockwomble! Is how they end up reacting to it, right? Hell, we've all seen it when communities have been given something good, but communicated poorly, and then been like, I can't believe you fucking done this! Okay, not what I meant to do, but it works. Alright. Look at me, I'm a pot who can dodge fireballs. Ark! So I kind of deserved that. I've not been using the pots nearly enough. Or the perfumes, for that matter. So yeah, like, if we're talking about, like, what you're describing specifically, it feels like something that should be available to users once they are able to pass a certain, like, in-game threshold, and not something that should be tied to, like, overall difficulty. But again, I think we're at this point now where, especially with predominantly PC titles, we got to get away from easy, medium, hard, brutal, whatever. I do not know what that noise is, but I'm scared. And like, ultimately bringing more users in is the idea. You know, I find it interesting that with just using it as a shorthand for conversation, but with Terraria, when you hit a certain point, the world itself becomes harder, but you have to defeat and overcome a boss before the difficulty jumps, and those other new mechanics are added. Alright, let's deal with whoever the fuck thinks that this is their dungeon. But I will admit, it's not something that I've encountered in a while, but I always used to hate the idea that you're playing something that was predominantly narrative, and that you would get through the whole ass game, and it'd be like, well done, player. You should have played it through on hard, though. And it's like, fuck you, buddy. I'm still not sure how I feel about the hell ending to Cave Story, you know? me! How your pots doing me? Sorry, I'm just handling these little buggers so my dogs can help me with Bossy Bosserson over here. Stop, nerd! Oh ho ho ho! You know what this calls for? Stinky breath! First time, every time. Well, no, so... for those of you who don't know, sorry if I've told you this like 8 times, just in case there's anybody here that hasn't played, you know, Cave Story obsessively like I have. So Cave Story came out, it was a good game, it had an ending, great. There were multiple versions released, and somewhere along the way, they added the Hell ending. The Hell ending is an alternate path that you have to go to great lengths to acquire all of the objects at the right times to proc it. And it is an absolutely brutal challenge. It knocks all of your kit down to 1. It goes from a movement like test Celeste style to a boss rush into some fucking crazy into some fucking crazy shit. Oh, of course he was saying the duelist goes into a fight 4v1. I like to think that he was trying to train those little pots up. That's my headcanon, and I'm sticking to it. Sorry about that. No, so Legend, I do agree with you. And it's one of those times where it's what I'd call the insufferable designers discussion, right? Now, this will only resonate to those of you that have worked in a larger game studio, but in every large game studio, there is one fucking insufferable designer. It's kind of like the, dickhead rule. Like, if you look around a table and you can't see a dickhead, you are the dickhead. And insufferable game designers, they have a lot of traits. Sorry, forgive my itchy nose. But one of them is not listening to feedback in terms of how a user does things, but making an intellectual argument as to... Oh, let's do a hero's grave. We haven't done a hero's grave in ages. Basically, they make an intellectual argument as to why something should be something, even though it is counter to what a good user experience. And I think the Hell ending is a great example of that. Because the Hell ending's like, oh, if you want a happy ending, if you want to save everybody, you got to be the hero. You got to bleed, you got to sweat, you got to cry for it, right? But, and this is like, you know, the level of games literacy, skill, and competency required to pull off the Hell ending is unfathomable. I mean, for those of you that were there back then, how many weeks did we spend on it? Because we spent a lot of time on it during the GameWorks months. And the thing was, I was barely making any progress, and people didn't want to watch. And that's okay, right? Again, it's my job as the streamer to be entertaining. It is not your job to put up with me when I'm being fucking boring. Come on, I know you're gonna do it. You know you're gonna do it. Oh, fuck you! Couldn't get out of the way in time. Yeah, no, Judica, you know what I'm saying. And the reason why those peeps are obnoxious is because the creative argument is... I mean, it makes sense, right? If you want to be the hero, if you want to be the guy, you gotta fucking work for it. But the thing is, that means that there are loads of people who have time commitments or mobility issues and shit like that, who cannot be the guy. Alright. Oh, hey, he doesn't kill me in one anymore. I love that for me. Kinda wish he'd go all the way down, though. If you didn't slow down in lava physically, I would definitely get my fire mantle on. But yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, those kinds of design discussions are the worst, especially if you're dealing with somebody who has seniority. They also tend to be the same kinds of people who will obsess over what their current game is and then make it everybody else's fucking problem. But that's another story. I remember you, you piece of shit! So are these... Okay, so are the hero graves very similar in their construction? Because I recognize these tombs, but I also realize that the stuff outside is different. Some of them never identical. Okay, cool. But yeah, so sorry, jumping back. The thing with Cave Story is it's a very bittersweet game. It is absolutely gorgeous, and if you get the opportunity, I highly recommend it. But its original ending is very poignant, right? And especially if it's one of the first of those like super cute, like Animu-style-y retro titles you played, it hits. And it kind of leaves you with this feeling of like, God, I wish I could make it all okay. And you can, but oh boy, you gotta fucking work for it. And I don't know, I don't. Oh, good. Oh, come on! Fucking sideswipe me. Fucking bastard. I have a little cut on my arm. Fucking dead! But yeah, so that's what makes... That's where my beef with Cave Story kind of comes together, is that it's dangling something in front of you that narratively you desperately want, but is so unobtainable. It's not like... Like, I've done an Iron Man run of... what was it? Oh, Spelunky 1. Haven't managed it with Spelunky 2 yet, but, you know. Instead of get the skeleton. Bako. Oh! Right in the where his natural organs would have been. So, Judica, the interesting thing with Nier is that Well, there is a difficulty and a challenge to the title as a whole, right? You know, I wouldn't say that Nier 1 is an easy game per se. It is not an easy game for babies. But what I would say is that none of the elements are locked behind... None of the story beats are locked behind difficulty. Fuck, I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up. Okay, we're good. Yeah, except for the fucking shaman fish. Fuck you, shaman fish. I still have a friend who was visiting us in London when we were playing through it, and occasionally I'll just get a little text from him that just says, shaman fish. Fucking shaman fish. They know what they did. I win! So I guess that's what the difference. Nier uses the pretense of difficulty, but ultimately it's about... Nier 1 is about repeating cycles. Nier Automata has a similar theme, but also adds, you know, agency, right? The endings in Nier aren't even really endings, they're chapters. But they're using the language of games to fuck with us, meta-narrative elements. Like, in truth, Nier only has one ending, Nier Automata. But the fact that it has those faux endings that then work as chapter markers, I think is very clever. I'm not saying that the Nier games are perfect. But if you use the accessibility modules in those, that doesn't lock you out of the good ending, right? And I think that's where the distinction for me comes in, you know what I mean? Yeah, fuck off. Okay, there's a lot of red splodge marks in here. Aha! I was like, there's gonna be something in here that kills me. It's that guy. Oh, and he's got a mate. I sneezed that man to death! Don't try and talk and sneeze, friends. It's not good. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Whew. Shaman fish. Yeah, Carlo the Curious. That is my ultimate finishing move. The killing sneeze. Or that's my Batman book. Nope. I am the goddamn parkour master. Sneezy breathy. Someone left me a little message. Beast ahead. Thank you, whoever that was. Okay. This is weird because I know this layout, but last time we did this, it was way darker. Stinky breather! There's no way I did this one already. So weird. DJ Coyle says they don't know if I earned that ledge. I'll take a hand-me-down ledge. I am proud. Well, we'll soon find out, friends. We'll soon find out. Watch the patterns. Fucking wee! Thank you. Oh. Oh well. It means I forgot to mark it off my map, and this was a good chance to talk about accessibility in video games and shit, which I love talking about. But no, I think, again, if you take anything away from this incoherent rabbling while I parkour my way through a map that I should have marked off... Fuck, I didn't mark it off. Good work, me. Fucking dingus. And that is... separate difficulty from accessibility. And, like, the purpose of difficulty... Okay, there's no one answer. Shit, I was about to start talking in absolutes. You know who does that? Most people who wield the Force. What I mean is that you can always recontextualize. And yeah, no, AR, I got the amulet. You all made sure I did. Yeah, it's the Gilmere hero's grave, but honestly, I thought that was from somewhere else. Did I do the Seed Water Cave? But what you need to think about is that difficulty serves two problems, and you should separate those two concepts. So, difficulty... accessibility is allowing more people to play through your game and to experience whatever the core experience is. Right? In Cave Story, it's the platforming, sure, but it's also the adventure. Right? It is the story. It is what happens. So, ultimately, your goal as a creative is to get people to the end of your game, in this regard, with Cave Story, whilst letting them have fun. Alright? The other is to extend the gameplay for people who love it, or for people who want an excuse to play through it again, right? Hard mode is a cheap way of giving people a reason to keep going, right? That's why it exists. We talk about it like, oh, some people just want it to be challenging from the get-go. Sure, but I assure you there are more people who are into speedrunning than who immediately crank a game to its hardest difficulty. They're in the same mindset, but the only on hard crowd is much, much smaller. What it means is that if you play through a game and you're like, I fucking love this game. God, I need an excuse to keep going. I need the game to give me a reason. Boosh. Hard mode. Now, it's one of the reasons why New Game Plus is so popular, is that it allows users to do that and carry through the progress they've made, making it feel like more of an extension of what they've already done, right? You feel me? Yeah, sorry AR, but tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, with easy mode is for people that aren't confident in their abilities. It's not necessarily about whether or not they can. They don't feel they can. So easy mode is something that takes a lot of the stress and strain off. Or, for people who are struggling with a title that they're really enjoying, that they don't want to give up on, right? Ew. Oh, I'm gonna get stinky feet. Oh, my cloak's gonna get stinky too. Oh, no one wants stinky cloak. Fuck off. Lava breath! We're not stinky anymore! And I dread to think what the smell must be like. They're weak to fire. Okay, AR, you're missing my point entirely. You're missing my point entirely. It's not, you can't be a speedrunner and like hard games. But think about the number of people who, whenever they pick up a title they've never played before, they immediately go, I'm putting this on hard. Like, that as a type of person. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'm saying that they're a very, very, very small percentage of individuals. Predominantly the people who play through games on hard mode are people who have already engaged with the title and want reasons to play through, or individuals that are going for... or individuals that are going for full achievement clears and whatnot. And sorry AR, but I'm standing by my guns on this one. Predominantly, the Dark Souls community, as it is known, is a very, very small fractional minority of a huge user base. In fact, one of the things that makes these titles so interesting is how the titles themselves give you the tools to tweak your experience, right? Mimic Tear isn't an OP summon. Mimic Tear is specifically powerful as fuck. Now, you have to discover it as a user or look it up, but you are given the tools to tweak your experience how you would like. I think the fact that Sekiro is the lowest selling of the modern FromSoft titles, it's a modern Dark Soulsian titles, shows that the perception of what is wanted from the Souls franchise and what people actually would like, very, very different. And from a game creation standpoint, we need to look at, you know, the data that we can find. Anyway, my point isn't fucking people don't play games on hard. They do. They're a very, very small majority. That small minority, I keep mixing my words. My point is, separate that easy mode feeling, the feeling that you are not good enough for a game, the feeling that you are intimidated by its systems and concepts. Boil that into accessibility. Yeah, well, Moose, I mean, Control-Alt-Bingo. Also, there is no longer a Dark Souls community. There are communities that play Dark Souls. The game is too massive. This is a massive AAA experience. It's not like back in the day, you know, with Demon Souls. But that's more my community management brain. It's like, these things... Flaming! Oh. There we go. But no, the thing to take away from this is, once you understand what the core of your experience is, how do you help as many users get through it in the way that they want to? Elden Ring is actually one of the best examples. Because, and this is kind of pulling back to what I was chatting about with Sandy before I got murderated by some nonsense. This is a fun, funky co-op game if you want it to be. The penalties for summoning friends are almost negligible. I mean, sure, people can invade, but you can also have yourself summoning up cops to come help you as well. I think one of the things that makes this one of the great titles is you really do get to choose how difficult you want it to be. But it's all done within the language of the game, and that's... Okay, this is just going to do another round of fire breath and be done with it. Like, you get to choose what you consider to be cheesy. You get to choose what's difficult and what's cheating and what have you. That's up to you in this, and I love that. But because it's done from the confines of the game and not from a menu, it separates out the user's perception. And again, Moose, going by what you were saying about how, you know, people have dubbed certain strategies in Elden Ring to be crutches or cheating or what have you. Like, you know they put that in on purpose, right? In a game so meticulously crafted, how could anybody think that swaths of this game that you can play weren't intended? Feel me? Yeah. He's got puke missiles. There. No, it don't puke on me. Oh, that's making them not using them. Good work, me. Anyway. Like, jumping back. That's where the conversation becomes interesting for those of us who create games and who want to understand them, right? I don't know, I'm Carlo. I'm not fucking good at this game. You've watched me play it. You've all watched me fucking play it. I thoroughly enjoyed Sekiro. But it was the least accessible of the whole lot. No. There we go. No. Oh, fuck off. That splodge was personal. Alright, you know what? I'll play in your swamp, you butt. And where's the other one of you? Where's the rest of you? Okay. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to turn that into a specific point. It's just understanding how difficulty is perceived and experienced are two different things, I think, is a really powerful tool in any creator's arsenal. You know, I still want to find the person at Capcom who came up with the idea that if you lose 5 times in a row, you then unlock easy mode and you have to start the game again. I want to find that person, time travel, and just wail on whatever downstairs mix-up they had. Because once I'm done, it's going to be best described as a puddle of mush. And not in a fun way. Yeah, and, okay, so Nick, I'm sorry I kind of trailed off that one, but it was where I wanted to go with that conversation about obnoxious game design, that, unfortunately, the Dark Souls series has permeated almost all conversations, and very few people understand why. Understand why it works in the way that it does. The amount of Soulsian mechanics that specifically standalone designers will try and shoehorn into games is fucking exhausting. Like, I can't... okay, I don't want to give any examples because I don't want to shit on anyone personally, but the amount of times where someone would try and use the Dark Souls design methodology to justify X or Y design in a fucking strategy game was way higher than I am proud that I am proud to admit. Like, one of the other things that can unfortunately come from dealing with standalone designers is cherry-picking a concept in an already popular game, making it impossible to argue against. Because they'll just be like, oh, well, do you not like how X game does it? And it's like, no, I love X game, but they fucking get it. Oh, yes, it's this guy. Alright, once more with feeling. Before he fucking Hadoukens me. No, so DJ, I actually don't think that's a... I don't think that's a hot take. I think it's... I think good checkpointing... I think good checkpointing is great. I still remember Dragon's Dogma kicking the shit out of me. Not because it was hard, but because I had to play it like the old days where you have to manually save every few seconds. Me and... who was it? Was it Miles? We used to say in the most consistent geezer voice of all time, Sayuita! When they were playing like Half-Life or the Ilk. Ah, oh, beans. Guess who rolled in the shit he wasn't supposed to? This guy! Now, it's like jumping back. Someone was also mentioning they don't like Iron Man hardcore modes, and I'm like, that's another one where in certain games it's brilliant. In others, it's just a miserable slogfest. Okay, friends. So if you cast your mind in if you cast your eyes into general, Nick has posted their sign that says, "It has been 0 days since someone mentioned Dark Souls," which is good. Nick was also saying they tripped on the dog gate, ate shit, and almost took out the entire server rack on their head. No, we need you alive, friend. We need you alive. Death is forbidden. Sorry. The sweet release of death is on hold until further notice. Ooh, a pit. It truly is the Dark Souls of workspaces. Okay, I've decided I like that joke when it's not Wraith using it against me. But yeah. That's it. But anyway, jumping back. This is why these conversations are so interesting, and they're really, really worth it, because understanding why something works in a certain space and not in others, you have no idea how powerful that is. And the thing that Nick's talking about, that not everybody who works in games has a high literacy of games. And unfortunately, there is this chronic problem where a good game comes out, and the design team binges it for 2 weeks, and then suddenly everything is an Elden Ring-like, or wants to have Tears of the Kingdom mechanics. Oh, this is the genius secret sauce we've been missing. And hey, look, sometimes that works. Very fucking rarely, because usually that's the kind of shit you want to be planning from day one, but, you know, whatever. But again... Okay, no, actually there is one mechanic I can talk about from a game series that I worked on that was fucking stupid, and the designers wouldn't hear about it. Drop-in battles. So, Total War had a little bit of a problem in that late game fights were getting really boring, because what happens is it's called the tipping point, or I guess different teams have different names, but if it's a 4X game or a grand strategy or what have you, there is what's called the tipping point. You have become more powerful than the AI can possibly imagine. Lol. You can't be stopped. And at that point, winning isn't about clever victory in great battles. Winning is about mopping up. It's doing the dishes of strategy games, you know. So varying games are trying to come up with varying ways, and one of the ones that Total War came up with was the thing called drop-in battles, where another player around the world could drop in, command your units, command the enemy units, and spice up the fight. Now, have any of you already seen the problem with that system? Aside from it being very complicated, players aren't going to give their opponent an equal fight. If a user is having a massive, massive grand strategy battle, they're going to get to the point where there is an equal fight, and they're going to use every tool in their arsenal, every tactic, every skill to win. They are not going to fucking kneecap themselves while they're already on the curve. They were heading up to the curve, right? Once they tuck over the curve, there's no force that can face them. So anything that happens, any players who jump in, will automatically be given a tiny army to fight against their opponent. Which means that as the tiny drop-in villain, your best chance of success is being a piece of shit troll. Because you've not been given a fair fight, but you have been given the option to jump in. Right? And, like, that was one of the ones that drove me up the wall, because it's not that the design were bad, per se, but more that it didn't take into account how users actually fucking play video games. It was a feature that was in a different game, and they went, oh, we can have invasion mechanics. Yeah. See, now, Legend, you're giving me an excuse to talk about my favourite things, which I'm going to do with these... I'm going to talk to these two dead rats, right, before we head on to whatever this boss is going to be. But yeah, so I love the newest XCOM games. I play them, or at least when I first played them, I played them on easy difficulty, but cranked to Iron Man. Because, especially XCOM 2 is a game that rewards you with content, even if you're losing, right? Total War doesn't do that. Total War losing feels fucking bad, and most people save before a big fight, and then fight it again if they lose. Or, if they lose too many times, they just disengage. Even though Total War does what's called baked outcomes, which is that if there is an army and your army, and you bash, the automatic result has already been calculated before you choose to do it. Right? It is a preconceived preconceived result on a face-down card. It's not that the battle isn't random in terms of other elements, it's that you can't just repeatedly load the same save to get different results. You know, what I like to call the Fallout Thief result. God, I stole so much shit in Fallout 2. I'm not even sorry. J-Post, Watto and welcome. I actually want to watch Deadpool again for the sheer number of references. It was brilliant. Well, so Numbers, it's kind of philosophical in that regard. You know, it's the idea that it's almost like predestined. Like, if the units change, if the terrain changes drastically, that's a different outcome. And basically is the idea that you can't reload the same save and get different results. Which, personally, I'm not against, but that's another kettle of monkeys. If you want to waste hours of your day reloading the same save in the most boring manner rather than having fun, you do you, boo. Yeah. I mean, Carlo, it's also worth noting, streamers on the most part are not a good barometer of a game. I'm saying this as someone who has been both streamer side and QA side. Streamers are not a good barometer. Moose, actually, XCOM have been very open about that. Basically, it's that the idea is that the RNG will always go down a certain way before you roll those dice. If you were doing the same thing, the same place. Oh, and sorry, Carlo, I didn't mean to dismiss what you were saying. It was just, I did not have a lot of mana. Let's see if I can do this with one jug. I find that one interesting, and I always want to point to XCOM, especially XCOM 2, and point out how it gives you content even when you lose. I'd actually... And obviously, this is just an hours in a day problem. This isn't a creativity problem on their part. Had they had more time to spend with XCOM 2, I would have liked to seen them expand it. Now, I modded my XCOM 2, so I got rid of the turn timers, because I think that they suck, and I don't like them, and I'm allowed to do that. But I'm playing on Iron Man mode, so if I get my team killed, that fuck-up's on me. One of the things that can happen, as you well know in XCOM, is that your players can be left behind. Your characters, sorry, can be left behind. I'd love to see more expansion on that. But, again, that's just an hours in a day problem, right? Mess them up, my puppies! That's one! Get fucked! That's two! First time, every time. First time, every time. God, I love going back to dungeons we skipped and feeling powerful. Oh! Okay. Yeah, Carlo... I kind of have mixed feelings on the campaign mode from XCOM, because I do remember getting the absolute hot piss kicked out of me on some of my early attempts and not having fun with that. "100% of the time, 50% of the time." That's the Will Overguard guarantee. Sorry, I really do love this conversation, because once you understand that the old ways of easy, medium, and hard are dead, and that we can do so much more with them, like, that's fucking good. You know? Giving people the tools to understand the experience, giving them the chance to kind of be part of it. It's really fucking cool. Okay. Time to start earning my keep. I do have to beat this dragon by myself, though, and I understand that. Yeah, and look... Sorry, Nick was saying that difficulty mode's been adding a bunch of HP to enemies and calling it a day. I know it far too well. Are you dead now? I forget. Okay, now is it the deathbed dream I need to go into, or is it this fucking thing? Forget. Yeah, the Borderlands bullet sponges and whatnot. Like... I don't like that kind of methodology. Just because... it doesn't make you feel powerful. It makes the world feel... quack. I do remember back in the day where it was very common that you'd have to finish a game on one mode to unlock it on another. God, and I still remember it driving me up the fucking wall Ranger mode in Metro Last Light. I just wanted to play on Ranger mode from the go. I wanted to get all immersy Percy. But no. Yeah, which one is Dragonfight? Is it her dream or is it that portal? I forget. Actually. Oh, sorry, Joe Matt joined back. DJ Coyle mentioned Tactical Breach Wizards. That's fucking great. Tom Francis is an old industry friendo, and I cannot wait for that to sell a gajillion copies. It is already so clever and so funny. I don't know. I really need to play Marvel Midnight Suns. That might be one of the other games I play on the Switch, the Steam Deck, because apparently it runs great on that. But I've just been thinking about it a lot in the sense of that's the thing they did after Chimera Squad and before whatever XCOM 3 ends up being. Alright. No, I don't have enough souls to get a level up. I just got to risk it for a biscuit. Alright. Now, hopefully the dragon doesn't fucking break my system again. If it does, I'm sorry. Well, DJ Coyle, so far as I understand, Midnight Suns was the XCOM team. It's definitely for Axis. Alright, puppies, you know the drill. Hunt that dragon!